Jyutping is used as the pronunciation guide in this article. After the 1980s, the proper Cantonese pronunciation has been much promoted in Hong Kong, with the scholar Richard Ho as its iconic campaigner. The very idea of proper pronunciation of Cantonese Chinese is very controversial, since there is no such thing as mispronunciation in descriptive linguistics. L'Oréal defines lazy sounds, most commonly discussed in relation to phonetic changes in Hong Kong Cantonese, as a phrase that often has an implication of the speaker being unwilling to put forth sufficient effort to articulate the standard pronunciation. Origins and influences. The promotion of proper Cantonese Chinese pronunciation is partly a reaction to the so-called lazy sounds, Lan 5 Jan 1, adopted by the younger generations. The lazy pronunciations or sound changes include merge of initial N and L. For example, pronouncing Nam 4 as LAAM 4. Merge of initial ing and dark-toned null, glottal onsets. For example, pronouncing oi 3 as ngoi 3. Loss of initial ing on light-toned words. For example, pronouncing ingo 5 as o 5. Emission of the labialization w of gw or kw. For example, pronouncing guok 3 as gok 3. Confusing the final consonants k and t. For example, pronouncing sak 1 as sat 1. Confusing the final consonants n and ing. For example, pronouncing lang 5 as lan 5. Confusing the syllabic consonants m and ing. For example, pronouncing ing 4 as m4. The 9 attested phonetic sound changes in Hong Kong Cantonese, or lazy sounds, in the format of the International Phonetic Alphabet, IPA, can be tracked in the following table. 2. MacLeod and Chung delve deeper in these sound changes in contemporary Hong Kong Cantonese, and focus in particular on the 4-syllable final consonants N, K, and T. After conducting original research on the pronunciation of words containing these syllable final phonetic changes, 2al argue that syllable final environment sound changes occur due to the tongue position at the preceding vowel, as it opts for maximum ease. Thus, their argument attests for two process alveolarization occurring in n greater than n transitions and k greater than t transitions, and velarization occurring in n greater than n transitions and t greater than k transitions. The following table shows the environments where the processes of alveolarization and velarization tend to occur. Alveolarization tends to occur when there is a preceding mid-front or central vowel, and velarization tends to occur when the attested preceding mid-back vowel is present. The last example in Table 2 indicates that the attested n sequence doesn't change, as the position of the tongue for the high, lax, front vowel is already in close proximity to the position needed to make the velar consonants. 2al. Research presents that the process of co-articulation accounts for the birth of lazy sounds in present Hong Kong Cantonese. Alveolarization is a more popular phenomenon than velarization, and the syllable final alveolar consonants n and t tend to be preserved even when the preceding vowels prompt a tongue position that is further back. An example would be dry, kn. It is rare for people to pronounce this with a syllable final n, although it still occurs, as 7.1% of adults tested by 2al do this. This result is presented alongside a ranking of attested preceding vowels of the n, tilde, N pair that demonstrate the process of alveolarization, from least likely to have a succeeding alveolarized consonant to most likely, equals greater than less than less than less than a less than a e. The vowels and share the same percentage of alveolarization, resulting in a 0.0% chance of sound change, while the highest ranking vowel, OE, resulted in a 37.5% chance of sound change. TV and radio programs, including game shows, have been made to promote the proper pronunciation. The campaign has also influenced the local media. Some news reporters and masters of ceremonies in Hong Kong have adopted the proper pronunciations arguments. The proper readings promoted by Richard Ho are based on the funky spelling of Guangyun, an ancient rhyme dictionary reflecting the sounds of Middle Chinese. Ho states that Cantonese Chinese phonology being the descendant of the Guangyun system, there are highly regular correspondences between the sounds of Middle Chinese and those of modern Cantonese Chinese. He also holds that the flat and sharp tonal distinction in Middle Chinese is the most important feature from which modern Cantonese Chinese should not deviate, especially when reciting ancient literature. Ho 1995, 151. He allows exceptions in some cases of colloquial speech, but not in any cases in reading ancient literature. Ibid. 152. Ho's approach to pronunciation is prescriptive. For instance, talking about the wrong pronunciation of final consonants of the youth. He says, he expresses his attitude towards sound changes when talking about the gradual merge of N and L initials in Cantonese Chinese. A major critic of Ho's approach is Wang Tingzhi. He calls Ho's prescriptive pronunciations demonic. One of his concerns is that Cantonese Chinese comprises 6 historical strata, not just the one represented by the Guangyun. Wang 2005. Media. Ever since the arguments made around the correct way of pronouncing Chinese characters in Cantonese Chinese, different media companies in China have used their own interpretation of the correct pronunciations when broadcasting Hong Kong TV stations. In the year of 1981, Hong Kong TV stations followed the majority rule in terms of the correct pronunciation. At the time, the most common pronunciation for time Chinese was to say the last character with the same pronunciation as the word time rape Chinese. In China, the shocking effect from this was realized when kindergarten kids started talking about a show, The Friends Time, as The Friends Rape Time, due to slightly different pronunciations. After that incident, the TV stations started to realize the importance of the correct way of pronouncing characters to avoid misinterpretations. Effects on Cantonese Chinese pronunciation. Hong Kong's Cantonese Chinese pronunciation changes has affected the Cantonese Chinese that was being spoken in other regions. Guangzhou Chinese and Guangxi Chinese provinces of China. Many still argue about the variations in Cantonese Chinese pronunciation across different regions. Some are too informal while others have other flaws. It is still a major topic that people discuss to date. See also Cantonese phonology, Cantonese language, Jyutping. 2. Carol K. S. Shirin MacLeod and Pamela S. P. Chung. 2015. Phonetic Variations and Sound Changes in Hong Kong Cantonese. Clinical Linguistics and Phonetics. Volume 29. No. 5. Taylor and Francis. 2015. pp. 333-353. Richard Ho. 1995. Record of the career of my Cantonese Chinese pronunciation teaching. Hong Kong. Ing Chinese Language Research Center. Blank. 2001. An outline for the self-study of Cantonese Chinese pronunciation. Hong Kong. Hong Kong Education Publishing Company. Wang Tingji. 2005. Please Don't Murder Cantonese Chinese. Wen Wei Po. October 21, 2005. Notes. In Chinese. Cantonese Cultural Promotion Society. An anti-proper pronunciation organization. With related articles criticizing the idea of proper pronunciation. In Chinese. The Association for the Promotion of Proper Cantonese Pronunciation. In Chinese. A TV show of TVB promoting the proper pronunciation and the proper characters. A Chinese syllabary pronounced according to the dialect of Canton. 1. By Wang Shikling. A pronunciation guide of Cantonese Chinese championed by Richard Ho.